Bills signing Joshua Palmer, formerly of the Los Angeles Chargers. And this is a move that I really like. And I've seen a lot of negativity around it, a lot of questioning, a lot of pulling up his stat box and, looking at his lack of production over his first few years in the NFL. And for me, I like to kind of look forward with these players and try to project them into what I think they can be in our system and not versus, what they've done. And I know that's really hard to do. And there's the cliches of, free agency, you're paying more because you're playing for what the player's done and not what they will do, all that stuff. But for me, the context matters on all of these things of, being on the Chargers and being behind people like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams on the depth chart. The Chargers, drafting Lad McConkey and Quentin Johnston. And, you know, it's really easy to go on the other side of that and be like, well, if this dude's so good, then why are they drafting those players? And a very fair question, right? Right. But for me, the way I look at a move like this is the complementary skill set to what we have in our wide receiver room. And the one thing that felt like we were really missing last year for a team that gets a ton of man looks from opposing defenses, we didn't really have a man beater, a route runner, a separator. We have a lot of guys with different skill sets, but that that guy that can just run a beautiful route and go get you a bucket isn't really a skill set that we had. And something that I thought that maybe we were going to get more of from Amari Cooper, kind of his calling card was being a route runner. And I think with Cooper, we just kind of ended up seeing his age, and it is what it is. And, became time to move on. I like that in adding Palmer, you still added a guy that's pretty young. I believe he comes in at 25 right now. So definitely some ceiling that you could still unlock. And again, when talking about factors about a previous team, you have to consider, Harbaugh coming in as the coach, Greg Roman coming in as the offensive coordinator, you know, uh, a bigger commitment to the run game. And not only all those things, like Justin Herbert is a really good quarterback. I'm not here to slander Justin Herbert, but there's something like consistently off with the Chargers that pretty much every year for like the last 5 years, I'm looking at their roster like this team's about to do things. And they just kind of fail to live up to the expectations. So being able to look at this player's traits and match them up with skill sets on our team, I'm also keeping in mind that I think we were having very similar conversations last offseason about needing to go up and get one of these marquee receivers and, kind of feeling like Coleman wasn't the answer and, still needing a guy and all this and that. And I wouldn't disagree that we could still use more of an upgrade in the receiver room. But I think, starting with last year, this organization has shown that they kind of want to move away to that marquee number one guy that's going to make, I mean, the way the contracts are going, Jamar Chase tracking towards 35, 40 million a year. I mean, we're talking damn near quarterback money for these guys. And one of the things I can say about the Bills is it seems like they try to kind of stay ahead of trends in the NFL. And I think we could start seeing a shift to this type of philosophy, the everybody eats philosophy. Certainly saw a recommitment from the Bills in this type of signing and not going after Devontae Adams, for example. But also, as you want to get those marquee receivers, would you rather pay one guy $40 million or have like two 1B kind of guys that are making 15, 20 each? Not saying, necessarily that's how the league is going to go, but certainly a path that I could see coming. So A lot of people, a lot smarter than me in the football community, really like this signing for the Bills. I tend to agree with this one.